Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt like you're on the edge of something amazing, like everything you've worked for, all the struggles, the sacrifices, the times you've questioned whether it's worth it, are suddenly coming together? Well, I'm here to tell you that you're not just imagining it. There are clear signs that God is preparing you for a blessing, a breakthrough in your life that's about to change everything. And it's not a coincidence. It's by divine design. Let's dive right into it. Sign number one, the shift in your desires. When God is preparing you for something extraordinary, He first begins to shift your desires. He starts stirring something within you. It's as if the old goals no longer satisfy you. You've been chasing after things that seemed important, but suddenly you feel drawn to something bigger, something more purposeful. Your desires begin to align with a greater purpose. This isn't just about what you want for yourself, it's about what He's calling you to. If you're feeling this shift, it's not just growth, it's a sign that you're being repositioned for something far greater than you could ever imagine. Sign number two, you're being tested like never before. When God is preparing you for a blessing, He doesn't just hand it over without a challenge. You're going to face tests, trials, and obstacles. It might feel overwhelming, and you may be asking, why me? But here's the truth, these trials are not meant to break you, they're meant to build you. They are the pressure that forms the diamond. You're being refined. Every obstacle you overcome, every challenge you face is developing the strength, character, and resilience you need to handle the blessing that is coming your way. Sign number three, the doors that used to be closed are opening. Have you ever experienced a moment where, out of nowhere, opportunities start presenting themselves? People who once overlooked you are now reaching out. It seems like doors that were once sealed shut are beginning to swing wide open. That's no accident. God is opening doors that were closed for a reason, because He knows that now you're ready to step into a new level of favor. If you've been seeing these doors opening, don't hesitate. Walk through them with confidence, because they're part of your preparation for your blessing. Sign number four, you're gaining clarity. It might have seemed like you were walking in a fog, uncertain of your next steps, but suddenly you're gaining clarity. Things that used to confuse you are now becoming crystal clear. Your path is becoming brighter, and you're starting to see how all the pieces fit together. This clarity is not just random, it's God's way of showing you that the next phase of your journey is about to unfold. When the fog lifts, it's a clear indication that your blessing is coming into focus. Trust the process. Trust that the clarity you're experiencing is His guidance. Sign number five, you're experiencing unprecedented peace. Here's the most important sign, peace. In the midst of everything that's going on in your life, there's a peace that transcends understanding. It's like a calm in the storm. This peace isn't based on circumstances, it's rooted in something deeper. It's the peace that comes from knowing that you're exactly where you're meant to be and that your blessing is already on the way. When God is preparing you for something extraordinary, He equips you with peace, the kind of peace that tells you it's all going to be okay. That peace is not a coincidence. It's His promise that your blessing is on the horizon. Now, I want you to take a moment and reflect. Have you noticed any of these signs in your life? Are you experiencing the shift in your desires? Are you being tested in ways you never imagined? Are doors opening that once seemed closed? Is clarity flooding your mind? And most importantly, is there an unshakable peace within you telling you that everything is unfolding just as it should? If you're seeing these signs, it's time to get ready. God is preparing you for something bigger than you could have ever imagined. The blessing that's coming your way is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Stay strong, stay focused, and know that the best is yet to come. When God is preparing you for a blessing, one of the first signs you will notice is a shift in your desires. This shift isn't a small, subtle change, it's profound and unmistakable. It's a transformation that shakes you to the core and pulls you in a new direction, often towards something you never expected. You may have been pursuing certain goals, ambitions, or dreams, but suddenly those desires no longer resonate with you the same way. What once felt like the perfect path now seems misaligned with who you are becoming, and you start to feel an inner tug urging you to pursue something deeper, something more meaningful. This shift in desires can be both exciting and unsettling. You might feel like you are on the verge of something incredible, but at the same time, there's a sense of uncertainty about what lies ahead. This is a natural part of the process. The desires you once had were shaped by your past experiences, upbringing, and the world around you. But as God prepares you for a greater blessing, He begins to recalibrate your heart. Your desires begin to align with a purpose that is much larger than yourself. You may notice that the things that once brought you happiness or fulfillment no longer have the same power. The achievements that you thought would complete you now seem trivial in comparison to the greater vision that's beginning to emerge in your heart. Maybe you're in a career that once excited you, but now it feels limiting. Maybe you've been chasing after success or material possessions, but the drive for them is slowly fading. Instead, you start to feel an intense desire to make a greater impact in the world, to serve others, or to live with more authenticity and purpose. This shift in your desires signifies that God is preparing you for a higher calling, and He's leading you toward a destiny that will fulfill not only your needs, but the needs of others as well. At the same time, this shift in desires may not always make sense. You may find yourself feeling confused or disconnected from the old goals and aspirations that once defined you. Perhaps you've spent years building your career, chasing promotions, or working toward financial success, and now, for reasons you can't fully explain, those pursuits no longer feel fulfilling. This can be disorienting, even frightening. You may start to question yourself, am I being ungrateful? Why don't I feel the same passion for these things anymore? But what you may not realize is that this disconnection is part of God's plan to reorient your heart. He's guiding you towards something much bigger than you can comprehend in this moment. It's also important to recognize that the shift in desires often doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process, and sometimes it can take time before you fully understand the changes occurring within you. You may feel a growing restlessness or an increasing sense that there's something more out there for you. The old passions seem to be fading, but the new ones aren't fully clear yet. This can create a period of uncertainty where you're not quite sure what you're being called to, but you know something is shifting. It's in these moments that you have to trust the process. You have to trust that even though the path ahead may not be clear right now, God is still leading you step by step, and your desires are being fine-tuned in the process. Another aspect of this shift is that it often leads to a greater sense of self-awareness. As God prepares you for your blessing, He invites you to discover who you truly are. You may have been living according to the expectations of others, following a path that was dictated by society, family, or the people around you. But now, as your desires begin to change, you start to realize that you have the power to define your own path. Your worth is no longer tied to external validation or the expectations placed on you. You begin to understand that true fulfillment comes from aligning your life with the desires God has placed in your heart. In some cases, this shift in desires may involve a deepening of your spiritual life. You may find yourself drawn to a closer relationship with God, seeking His guidance in ways you never did before. The desires that begin to stir within you are no longer just about achieving personal success or status. They are about seeking a life that reflects His love and purpose. You may feel a growing need to serve others, to contribute to your community, or to live in a way that reflects your faith. This spiritual awakening is often part of the shift in desires, and it signals that God is preparing you not just for worldly success, but for a life that honors Him and impacts the world in a meaningful way. During this time, you may also encounter moments of doubt or fear. It can be unsettling to let go of the things you thought were important and embrace new desires that feel foreign. But it's important to remember that God doesn't call you to something without equipping you for it. The shift in your desires is not just a change in what you want. It's a preparation for the blessings that are about to unfold in your life. As your desires realign with His purpose for you, He is preparing you to receive blessings that will bring you more joy, fulfillment, and peace than you could have ever imagined. You may also notice that as your desires shift, your relationships with others begin to change. People who once supported your old goals may not understand or support the new direction you're headed in. It can be difficult when those around you don't quite understand the changes happening within you, but trust that God is guiding you through this process. As He reshapes your desires, He is also reshaping your circle. Some people may stay with you while others may fall away, and that's okay. You are being led toward new connections, relationships, and opportunities that are more in line with the person you are becoming. Embracing this shift in desires requires courage. It requires the courage to let go of what no longer serves you and to embrace the unknown. But here's the thing, the desires that are stirring in your heart right now are not random. They are a divine invitation to step into the life God has been preparing for you all along. As you follow those desires, as you align your heart with His purpose, you are positioning yourself for the blessings that are waiting for you just around the corner. The shift in desires is one of the clearest signs that God is preparing you for a blessing. It's the beginning of a process that will lead you to a deeper level of fulfillment, purpose, and joy. It's an invitation to step into the life you were truly meant to live. Embrace the shift, trust the journey, and know that what lies ahead is greater than anything you could have planned for yourself. When God is preparing you for a blessing, one of the most significant signs that you will encounter is the increase in the tests and challenges you face. These aren't just random obstacles or difficulties. They are purposeful and designed to build you up, refine your character, and equip you for the blessing that is to come. It may feel overwhelming at times, and you might find yourself asking, why is this happening? What did I do wrong? But these trials and tests are not punishments. They are stepping stones that prepare you for a new level of growth, strength, and spiritual depth. They are God's way of preparing you for the future He has in store for you. The first thing you need to understand is that these tests are not random or arbitrary. There is a divine purpose behind every challenge you face. Whether it's a difficult situation in your personal life, a challenging circumstance at work, or even spiritual doubts that seem to arise at the most inopportune times, everything you are going through is part of the process of refining you. Think of it like gold being purified in fire. In order for the gold to reach its highest potential, it must be placed under intense heat that melts away the impurities. Similarly, the trials you experience, no matter how uncomfortable or painful they may seem, are removing the things in your life that are preventing you from reaching your full potential. It's important to recognize that these tests often come when you're on the verge of a breakthrough or when God is preparing to release a new blessing into your life. The enemy knows this, and his job is to discourage you, to make you doubt yourself, and to cause you to lose faith in the process. But the tests you're facing are actually a confirmation that something great is coming your way. Think about it. If you were not destined for greatness, the challenges would not be as intense. But because God has something extraordinary for you, He allows you to go through these challenges so that you are spiritually, mentally, and emotionally prepared for what's ahead. At times, you may feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. The trials may seem endless, and you may even question whether you're capable of handling them. These feelings are completely normal. In fact, they are part of the process of strengthening your faith. The Bible tells us that God will never give us more than we can bear, but He will allow us to face challenges that stretch us, that cause us to lean on Him more, and that teach us to trust Him even when we don't understand the situation. These moments of vulnerability and weakness are where God does His most transformative work in our lives. They push us to rely on Him, not on our own strength, resources, or understanding. As you face these tests, you may also experience a period of isolation or loneliness. When you are being prepared for something great, God often takes you into a season where it feels like you are walking through the fire alone. This is not because He has abandoned you, but because He is doing a deep work in your heart. During these times, God is teaching you how to stand firm on your own faith, how to rely solely on Him, and how to trust in His timing. You may not feel His presence in the way you expect, but He is still with you, working in the background, setting the stage for your breakthrough. Moreover, the tests you face will reveal areas of your character that need refining. They are designed to expose weaknesses, pride, fear, and insecurity so that you can bring them before God and allow Him to heal and transform them. If you are someone who struggles with impatience, the tests may push you to the limit of your endurance, teaching you to wait on God's perfect timing. If you struggle with unforgiveness, God may allow you to encounter people or situations that force you to deal with bitterness and resentment, showing you the importance of releasing those negative emotions and choosing love and grace instead. If you've been relying too much on your own understanding, the test will challenge you to let go of control and surrender to God's plan. Whatever area of your life needs attention, God will use these trials to bring it to light and help you grow. Another significant aspect of these tests is the way they stretch your faith. It's easy to have faith when everything is going well, but when the storms of life hit and everything seems to be falling apart, that's when your faith is truly tested. God allows these moments to deepen your trust in Him. The test may seem impossible, and at times you may feel like giving up. But in those moments, God is working in your heart to strengthen your belief that He will provide, protect, and guide you through every challenge. It's in these moments of difficulty that you learn to rely on God's promises rather than on your own strength or the circumstances around you. Every time you face a test and choose to trust God instead of giving in to fear, you are building a stronger foundation of faith that will carry you through future challenges. These tests also help you develop perseverance and resilience. Life is filled with ups and downs, and the road to your blessing will not be without its obstacles. However, God knows that in order to handle the blessings He is about to pour into your life, you need to be resilient. You need to be able to keep moving forward, even when it feels like nothing is working out, even when things are falling apart. This is why He allows you to go through trials to teach you how to stand firm, how to keep your eyes fixed on the prize, and how to continue pursuing your purpose even when the path is difficult. These trials teach you that setbacks are not permanent and that God can bring you through any storm stronger than you were before. One of the most powerful aspects of these tests is the way they allow you to experience God's provision and faithfulness. When you're in the midst of a trial, it often feels like you're at the end of your rope and there's no way out. But in those moments, you begin to see God's hand at work in your life in ways that you wouldn't have noticed before. His provision may come in the form of a new opportunity, a helpful word from a friend, or a small breakthrough that leads to a bigger one. As you move through these tests, you begin to understand that God's timing is perfect and that He will never leave you or forsake you. Each test, each trial becomes an opportunity for you to experience God's faithfulness on a deeper level and to grow in your understanding of His love for you. In the midst of these tests, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. The challenges may feel like they are dragging on, and you might wonder if things will ever get better. But keep in mind that every test is preparing you for something greater. God does not bring you into a season of testing to destroy you. He does it to refine you. The trials you face are the very things that will prepare you to receive the blessing He has for you. The pressure you feel is making you stronger. The difficulties are making you wiser. The struggles are shaping you into the person who is capable of handling the blessings that are about to come your way. As you face the tests in your life, remember that they are part of God's divine preparation process. The blessings that are on the horizon for you require you to be strong, resilient, and equipped with a deeper faith. These tests are not obstacles meant to stop you. They are stepping stones designed to elevate you. Trust in the process and know that every challenge is leading you closer to the breakthrough that God has already ordained for you. When God is preparing you for a blessing, one of the most significant signs you will experience is the sudden and unexpected opening of doors that once seemed closed. These doors may be opportunities, relationships, or paths that you had long given up on or thought were forever beyond your reach. It's as if something or someone somewhere suddenly shifts, creating a way where there was no way before. This is not a random coincidence. It is a divine intervention, a sign that God is positioning you for the blessing He has prepared for you. You may have faced rejection in the past. Perhaps you applied for a job and never heard back. Or maybe you tried to start a business, but all your efforts seemed to fall short. You may have felt as though every door you knocked on remained firmly shut, and with each failed attempt, your hopes diminished. It can be incredibly disheartening when things don't go the way you plan. But when God begins to prepare you for a blessing, He doesn't just open any door, He opens the right doors at the right time. What once seemed like obstacles or setbacks are now opportunities that appear in ways that you could never have orchestrated yourself. This opening of doors doesn't just happen by chance. There is a deep spiritual significance behind it. When God opens a door for you, He is aligning your circumstances with His purpose for your life. He is connecting you with people, resources, and opportunities that are meant to bring you closer to the future He has in mind for you. It is not about luck, nor is it about coincidence. It is about divine timing and alignment. The moment you begin to notice these doors opening, it's important to recognize that it's part of God's greater plan to bless you, to elevate you, and to lead you into new territories of success, growth, and fulfillment. These doors may not always look like what you expected. They might not come in the form of the job, the relationship, or the opportunity that you originally envisioned. Sometimes the doors that God opens for you are different from what you had imagined, but they are exactly what you need in order to move to the next level. You may find yourself in a position or a situation that you didn't foresee, but as you step through that door, you realize it's the right place for you at this moment in your life. God knows the desires of your heart, and He knows the path that will lead you to your destiny. Even when things don't look the way you expect, trust that God is opening doors that will ultimately lead to your blessing. There's a particular type of peace and clarity that comes with these open doors. When God opens a door for you, you won't feel the anxiety, confusion, or sense of struggle that you might have felt when trying to force something to happen on your own. Instead, you will experience a sense of calm certainty, a deep knowing that this is the right opportunity at the right time. Even if there is fear or hesitation, that peace will still be present, guiding you forward. You'll find that when it's God's timing, you won't need to strive or struggle to make things happen. They will unfold naturally, and you will be equipped to walk through the door with confidence. However, before these doors open, it's important to acknowledge that sometimes God closes doors in order to prepare you for the ones that are meant for you. For a long time, you may have been knocking on doors that were never intended to open, and it might have been frustrating when you encountered resistance. But what you didn't realize was that those closed doors were God's way of protecting you, guiding you away from paths that wouldn't lead to the blessing He had in mind for you. Now, as you move through this process, you'll begin to notice the subtle yet unmistakable signs that a door is about to open for you, and it will be a door that is perfectly aligned with your purpose. You might start to notice changes in your relationships and network. People who you never imagined would take an interest in you might suddenly begin to reach out. Someone who has been watching you from afar might extend an invitation or offer support that opens up a new opportunity. You may encounter a mentor or a connection that propels you forward in ways that would have been impossible just a short time ago. These relationships are part of the divine strategy. God uses people to open doors for you, sometimes in ways that you don't even realize at first. The right connection at the right time can open up opportunities that change the entire course of your life. It's also important to recognize that as God opens these doors, He is preparing you for what lies on the other side. When a door opens, it's a clear indication that you're being called to step into something new, something bigger, something more aligned with your purpose. You can't stay where you are and walk through the door at the same time. Stepping through an open door requires faith, courage, and action. You must be willing to leave behind what's comfortable, what's familiar, and embrace the unknown. But know this, the open door represents the next chapter of your story, and on the other side of it lies the blessing that God has been preparing for you. Sometimes when God opens a door, it can feel like a huge leap of faith. It might be a new job, a new city, a new relationship, or even a new mindset that requires you to stretch beyond your comfort zone. But with every step you take toward that door, God will equip you with the strength, the knowledge, and the courage you need. He doesn't ask you to walk through doors on your own. He walks with you. He will be your guide, your protector, and your provider as you step into new opportunities. When you trust Him and step through those doors, you will find that He has already gone ahead of you, clearing the way and preparing the path for you. The key to recognizing when God is opening doors for you is to remain spiritually alert and discerning. Sometimes the doors He opens are not loud or dramatic. They may come in quiet, subtle ways that require you to have faith in what you can't yet see. It's easy to miss these opportunities if you are only looking for big, obvious signs, but if you remain open to God's guidance and stay in tune with His voice, you will begin to recognize the open doors when they appear. Don't be afraid to take action. If you feel a pull toward a new opportunity, a new direction, or a new path, trust that it's not by accident. It's God's way of guiding you toward the blessing that He has in store for you. You may also encounter moments of doubt or uncertainty as you stand before these open doors. It's normal to feel fear when stepping into the unknown, but remember that God has already equipped you with everything you need to succeed. The doors that open for you are not meant to overwhelm you. They are meant to take you to the next level of your journey. Trust in God's timing, trust in His plan, and trust that He will provide everything you need as you walk through the doors He opens for you. Each open door is a powerful reminder that God is at work in your life. When you begin to notice these doors opening, understand that it is not a coincidence, it is part of a much bigger plan. It is a sign that you are being positioned for something greater, something better, something that aligns perfectly with the future God has prepared for you. Walk through those doors with faith, confidence, and gratitude, knowing that on the other side, your blessing is waiting for you. As God prepares you for a blessing, one of the clearest signs you will encounter is the feeling of divine dissatisfaction, a deep, nagging sense that something in your life isn't quite aligned with what God has for you. This feeling can be unsettling, as it often emerges when you are in a place of comfort, success, or stability. Everything might look good on the surface, but within you sense that you are being called to something more, something greater, something that will challenge you and push you out of your comfort zone. It's a kind of holy discontentment, the awareness that while you're not in a place of obvious struggle, you are not where you're meant to be either. You're being prepared for a new level of purpose, growth, and blessing, and that requires you to step outside of what feels safe. This sense of dissatisfaction can manifest in many ways. Perhaps you've been working in a job for years, and while it pays the bills, there's a growing awareness that it no longer fulfills you. The passion and excitement you once had for your work may have waned, leaving you feeling unmotivated, disconnected, or uninspired. Even though everything may appear to be going well, deep down, you know there's something more waiting for you. You may find yourself daydreaming about new possibilities, new challenges, or new ventures. This is a sign that God is stirring within you, prompting you to step into a new chapter of your life. At first, this dissatisfaction may feel like a vague, abstract emotion. You may not fully understand what it means or where it's coming from. But as you sit with it and reflect, you may begin to notice patterns or themes that emerge, areas of your life that no longer align with your values, your passions, or your deeper sense of purpose. This dissatisfaction is not an indication that something is wrong with you or that you should feel guilty for desiring more. It's actually a sign of God's work within you. He is preparing you to move beyond the place where you are, to step into something that aligns more fully with the purpose He has for your life. God uses this divine dissatisfaction to create a holy hunger for something better. It's a feeling that pulls you forward, urging you to take action, to make changes, and to grow in ways you never thought possible. This feeling often comes just before you are about to step into a new opportunity, relationship, or season of your life. It's God's way of prompting you to look beyond your current circumstances and trust that He has something greater in store for you. This is a critical moment where you can choose to ignore the discomfort and stay in the familiar, or embrace the dissatisfaction and allow it to lead you towards something better. The discomfort of divine dissatisfaction often comes with a feeling of restlessness. You may feel like something is missing. Even though you have all the material things you need, you may have achieved some success in your life, but you're still longing for something deeper. The things that once brought you joy or fulfillment may no longer have the same effect on you. This restlessness is a powerful indicator that God is moving you toward a new purpose, a new vision, and a new level of blessing. It's not a feeling to be ignored or suppressed. It's a call to action, a call to trust in God's plan and follow His lead, even when you don't know exactly where He's taking you. In many cases, this dissatisfaction is also accompanied by a deep sense of conviction. You may feel like God is calling you to let go of things in your life that no longer serve His purpose for you. These may be relationships, habits, or patterns of thinking that have kept you stuck or have prevented you from stepping into your full potential. God uses this dissatisfaction to gently nudge you toward letting go of what is holding you back. It's not about feeling guilty or ashamed of your past choices. It's about recognizing that God has something better for you, and you must be willing to release the old to embrace the new. One of the most powerful aspects of divine dissatisfaction is that it pushes you to question the status quo. It challenges you to ask yourself whether the life you are living is the one that God has designed for you. It prompts you to reflect on whether you are truly living in alignment with your deepest values and calling, or whether you've been settling for less than what God has in mind for you. This questioning can be uncomfortable, but it is also necessary for growth. It's in this moment of dissatisfaction that you are confronted with the truth about who you are and what you're capable of. It's a moment where you realize that you are made for more impact, more purpose, more joy. God uses divine dissatisfaction to remove the blinders that often keep us from seeing the bigger picture. When we become complacent or comfortable, we can easily fall into a routine that feels safe but doesn't challenge us. This dissatisfaction shakes us out of our comfort zones, reminding us that we are called to live a life that reflects God's glory, that has eternal significance, and that impacts others in profound ways. The discontentment you feel isn't something to fear, it's an invitation to grow, to step into a new phase of your life where you can experience God's blessings in ways you never imagined. As you begin to embrace this dissatisfaction, you'll find that it motivates you to take action. This holy discontentment will give you the courage to step out of your comfort zone and pursue the new opportunities that God is placing before you. Whether it's starting a new business, pursuing a new career path, going back to school, or moving to a new location, the dissatisfaction you feel will serve as a powerful catalyst for change. It will propel you forward, even when the road ahead seems uncertain or intimidating. This is the moment when you must trust in God's timing and His provision, knowing that He has already prepared the way for you. It's also important to recognize that divine dissatisfaction is often a sign that you are about to experience a breakthrough. Just as a seed must break open in order to sprout and grow, you too must experience a period of discomfort in order to step into the blessings that God has in store for you. The dissatisfaction you feel is like the pressure that builds up inside you, preparing you to burst forth into a new season of growth, expansion, and opportunity. It's in this season of discomfort that you are being refined, strengthened, and prepared for the greater purpose God has for you. In the midst of this dissatisfaction, you may experience moments of doubt or confusion. You might wonder if you are making the right choice, or if you are just being restless for no reason. But know that this divine dissatisfaction is not a fleeting feeling, it's a sign that God is at work within you. He is stirring your heart, calling you to move forward, and positioning you for the blessings that are about to unfold. Trust in the process, and know that God will guide you every step of the way. As you lean into this discomfort, He will provide the clarity, courage, and direction you need to move forward into the life He has prepared for you. When God is preparing you for a blessing, one of the clearest signs you will experience is a deep, growing sense of peace and assurance in the midst of uncertainty. As you journey through life, you may encounter moments when everything feels uncertain, the future seems unclear, opportunities seem scarce, and doubts may cloud your mind. But despite all the uncertainty around you, there is a quiet confidence that begins to take root within you, a peace that surpasses all understanding. It's not the absence of challenges or questions, but rather the assurance that God is in control, guiding you toward the blessings He has prepared for you. This peace is a divine gift, a sign that you are moving in the direction of God's plan for your life, even when you cannot see the full picture. This peace that God provides is not something that can be manufactured or forced. It is a peace that comes from trusting in His sovereignty and knowing that He is with you, even when the circumstances around you are chaotic or unclear. In moments of uncertainty, you may feel as if you are walking through a fog, unable to see the way forward. Yet within that fog, God's peace begins to steady your heart and mind. It is a peace that tells you to trust, to wait patiently, and to continue moving forward, even when you cannot see the entire road ahead. This peace is not about having all the answers or being in complete control of every situation. It's about surrendering to the fact that God knows what's best for you and that He will guide you to the right place at the right time. The peace that God gives you is not based on external circumstances. It's not tied to how perfect or ideal your life may seem from the outside. In fact, it often emerges in the midst of turmoil and uncertainty. You may find yourself in a season where everything feels uncertain. Perhaps you're in between jobs, facing health challenges, or dealing with difficult relationships. Despite all of these external struggles, there is a quiet assurance within you that everything will work out according to God's plan. This peace is a reflection of your growing trust in Him. It's the kind of peace that allows you to sleep at night, even when you don't know how things will turn out. It's the peace that helps you face each day with confidence, knowing that no matter what challenges lie ahead, God is with you and will never leave you. This peace also serves as a reminder that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating events and circumstances for your good. Even when things seem to be going wrong, there is a deep sense of knowing that God is moving in ways you can't yet see. You might not understand why certain things are happening or why your plans aren't going the way you expected, but the peace you feel assures you that God is in control and that He is working everything together for your benefit. The Bible tells us that God works all things together for the good of those who love Him, and this peace is a tangible sign of that truth. It is the inner confidence that no matter what you're facing, God is sovereign and His plan for your life is unfolding according to His perfect timing. As God prepares you for a blessing, you may also notice that this peace grows stronger the more you lean into Him. The more you surrender your worries, fears, and uncertainties to God, the more His peace will fill your heart. It's in the act of releasing control and trusting in His guidance that you experience a profound sense of calm. You no longer feel the need to fight for every outcome or to manipulate every situation to fit your desires. Instead, you trust that God's plan for you is greater than your own and you allow Him to lead you. This peace becomes a deep well within you, a place where you can draw strength and assurance, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. This peace also serves as a compass, guiding you toward the right decisions. In moments of uncertainty, when you don't know which direction to take, God's peace will help you discern the right path. You may face choices that seem difficult or confusing, and in those moments you can rely on the peace of God to lead you. When you feel uneasy or unsettled about a particular decision, it's a sign that something may not be in alignment with God's plan for you. On the other hand, when you feel a sense of peace and calm about a particular choice, it's a sign that God is opening the door for you to move forward. This peace is a powerful indicator that you are walking in the right direction, even if the road ahead is not entirely clear. It gives you the courage to make decisions and take steps, even when the future is unknown, because you know that God is leading you. The peace you feel as God prepares you for a blessing is also closely connected to your ability to let go of fear. Fear is a natural human emotion. But when God is working in your life, He offers you a peace that casts out fear. This peace gives you the courage to face uncertainty, to step out of your comfort zone, and to trust that God will provide for you every step of the way. You may still feel the presence of fear, but it no longer holds power over you. The peace of God is greater than any fear, worry, or doubt you may encounter. It enables you to move forward with confidence, knowing that God is in control and that He will protect you, guide you, and provide for you. As you experience this peace, you will find that it also begins to affect the way you relate to others. The peace of God flows out of you and impacts the relationships you have with the people around you. In times of conflict or stress, you will find that God's peace enables you to remain calm and composed, even when others around you may be reacting with anxiety or fear. It's a peace that transcends the circumstances and allows you to respond with grace, patience, and understanding. This peace becomes a witness to others, showing them that there is a different way to live, a way that is rooted in trust, hope, and confidence in God's ability to guide and provide. God's peace is also a sign that He is preparing you for something greater than you could imagine. It's the assurance that the blessings that are coming into your life are not only good, but are exactly what you need to fulfill your purpose. This peace allows you to embrace the future with open hands, trusting that God will provide what you need at the right time. It removes the need for anxiety and worry because you know that God's timing is perfect. You are able to rest in the confidence that the best is yet to come, and that whatever lies ahead is part of God's perfect plan for your life. In moments of uncertainty, when the road ahead seems unclear, the peace of God is a reminder that He is with you. It is a peace that goes beyond understanding and fills you with the confidence to face whatever comes your way. This peace is a direct sign that God is preparing you for the blessing that is just ahead. Even when you can't see how it will all come together, you can trust that God is guiding you, leading you, and filling you with His perfect peace.